Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're going to jump into a really powerful way of thinking that could help us navigate our often chaotic lives. It's a way of looking at the world that might just change how you experience, well, everything.
Okay, let's start with this big question. We all do it, right? We try so hard to build a solid foundation, find some stability, and just hold on tight to the things we care about. But here's the catch. We're trying to do it in a world that is, by its very nature, completely and totally unstable. And that's the real puzzle we're going to try and solve here.
All right, so to really get a handle on this, let's start with a metaphor. I want you to imagine that our entire world, everything we can see, touch, and know, fits inside a single box.
Now this box, it represents our entire physical reality. Your town, your country, your job, your relationships, everyone and everything you can possibly perceive is inside this box. And this box comes with 3 non-negotiable labels stamped right on it.
First up, the label of change. Everything in the box is in a constant state of flux. Nothing ever stays the same. Second, end. Every single thing in this box is temporary. It has a beginning and it has a guaranteed end. And third, unpredictability. We simply have no idea what's coming next, not even in the next second.
And this leads to a really powerful analogy. If the world is always changing and ending, trying to find security from it is like trying to lean on a broken branch. You know what happens, right? It doesn't just fail to support you, it snaps, making your situation even worse and creating way more insecurity.
And what happens when you keep leaning on that broken branch? Well, it kicks off this nasty, vicious cycle. It sends us spiraling down into what we can call the spiral of insecurity.
So how does this spiral even work? Well, it all starts when we try to own things in the box, labeling them as mine. Then, we start creating expectations. We demand that these things, people, jobs, our status, give us support. But deep down, subconsciously, we know it's all temporary, which makes us feel deeply insecure. And when we feel insecure, our worst qualities bubble to the surface. Fear, anger, jealousy, you name it.
You know, there's this perfect little story that just nails this idea. Imagine a 4-year-old boy visiting a friend's house. He's given a cool toy to play with, and he absolutely loves it. But when it's time to leave, he starts wailing because he can't take it home. He got so attached, so caught up in this idea of mine, that he couldn't even enjoy the simple act of playing with the toy while he had it.
And that's the thing, right? We're exactly the same as that kid. Our toys are just bigger and more complex. Our careers, our social status, our relationships, we get so attached, so afraid of losing them, that we often completely forget to enjoy them in the here and now. But what if there's another way to live? Let's switch gears and look at a whole new perspective. A solution, really, developing the mindset of a guest.
Okay, picture this. You're visiting a beautiful museum. You walk around for a couple of hours, you're totally engaged, you're appreciating all the amazing art, but you don't try to stuff a painting in your bag on the way out. You don't label anything as mine. Why not? Because you know you're just a guest. You have a clear exit time, and that awareness keeps you completely free. What if we approached our entire life this way?
So you've got these 2 totally different ways of being. There's the resident, who tries to own everything, builds up all these attachments, and lives in a constant low-grade fear of losing it all. And then you have the guest, who simply appreciates the experience, remains totally free, and lives without that fear. Because a guest knows, fundamentally, they have nothing to lose.
I mean, when you really think about it, it's just common sense, right? We all know we have a guaranteed exit from this life. And once you truly, deeply accept that fact, the whole idea of claiming permanent ownership over anything inside the box starts to seem completely absurd.
But we can actually take this whole guest idea a step further, make it even deeper. Let's start seeing the world not just as a place we visit, but as a grand cosmic stage. In this model, the physical world is a theater. You are not the temporary role you're playing. You're not just a manager or a parent or a friend. You are the actor, the consciousness that is experiencing that role. The actor doesn't belong to the stage. They just come to play a part for a little while.
And this kind of splits our way of thinking into 2 camps. There's the Patar mindset. Think of it as a heavy, stone-like intellect that can only see the role. This is the mindset that thinks, I am the camel in the play. Then there's Paris, a much more subtle intellect that sees the bigger picture. It knows, no, I am the actor who is playing the camel. One gets you hopelessly trapped in the drama, while the other gives you real, genuine freedom.
Okay, so this all sounds great in theory, but how do we actually feel it? How do we make this real? Let's bring all this together into a simple, practical exercise you can start doing today.
And here's the best part. You don't need to go on some long retreat or meditate for hours. The whole goal is to simply experience this shift in perspective, even if it's just for one single minute. That tiny experience is what really counts.
So here's what you do. For just 1 minute, sit down and remind yourself, I am a guest here. Then try to fully, deeply realize that not one single atom of this world, and that includes your own body, truly belongs to you. In that moment of realization, you can experience this profound feeling of security that only comes from having absolutely nothing to lose. And you'll find that in that space, your best qualities, peace, love, contentment, they just naturally emerge. And the result? It's huge. Finding this true security by letting go of that broken branch is the absolute key. It's what allows our best self, our peace, our love, our creativity to finally come to the surface. And at the exact same time, all the things that cause us so much suffering, our ego, our desperation, our sorrows, they just begin to fade away because they suddenly have nothing to grab onto.
So I want to leave you with this one question to really chew on. If you fully, 100%, embraced being a guest here, knowing that nothing is yours to keep, how would that change your experience of today? What could you appreciate more freely, more fully, right here, right now? It's a pretty powerful thought to carry with you.